Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Formally making a person known to another or to the public. The act of beginning something new. The act of starting something for the first time, introducing something new. The act of putting one thing into another. A basic or elementary instructional text. A new proposal. They resisted the introduction of impractical alternatives. The first section of a communication. Formally making a person known to another or to the public. A brief introductory passage to a piece of popular music. Formally making a person known to another or to the public. A show or display. The act of presenting something to sight or view. The presentation of new data. A visual representation of something. Obstetrics. Position of the fetus in the uterus relative to the birth canal. Cesarean sections are sometimes the result of abnormal presentations. The activity of formally presenting something, as a prize or reward. She gave the trophy but he made the presentation. The act of making something publicly available, presenting news or other information by broadcasting or printing it. He prepared his presentation carefully in advance. The act of presenting a proposal. The act of beginning something new. They looked forward to the debut of their new product line. Appear for the first time in public. The new ballet that debuts next month at Covent Garden is already sold out. Make one's debut. This young soprano debuts next month at the Metropolitan Opera. Present for the first time to the public. The band debuts a new song or two each month. The presentation of a debutante in society. A written record of a commercial transaction. Something that provides access, to get in or get out. Beggars waited just outside the entryway to the cathedral. The act of beginning something new. The act of entering. Something, manuscripts or architectural plans and models or estimates or works of art of all genres etc. Submitted for the judgment of others, as in a competition. An item inserted in a written record. The act of beginning something new. The act of propelling with force. The act of beginning something new. The act of moving a newly built vessel into the water for the first time. The act of beginning something new. Putting on display for the first time. He attended the unveiling of the statue. The human act of creating. The event that occurred at the beginning of something. From its creation the plan was doomed to failure. The act of starting something for the first time, introducing something new. Everything that exists anywhere. An artifact that has been brought into existence by someone. Theology, God's act of bringing the universe into existence. Education or instruction in the fundamentals of a field of knowledge. He lacks the foundation necessary for advanced study. Lowest support of a structure. A woman's undergarment worn to give shape to the contours of the body. The fundamental assumptions from which something is begun or developed or calculated or explained. The act of starting something for the first time, introducing something new. The foundation of a new scientific society. An institution supported by an endowment. The basis on which something is grounded. There is little foundation for his objections. The act of starting something for the first time, introducing something new. Wisdom is evidenced by the possession of knowledge. His dullness was due to lack of initiation. An act that sets in motion some course of events. The act of starting something for the first time, introducing something new. She looked forward to her initiation as an adult. A formal entry into an organization or position or office. His initiation into the club. A creation, a new device or process, resulting from study and experimentation. The creation of something in the mind. The act of starting something for the first time, introducing something new. The act of starting something for the first time, introducing something new. An organization founded and united for a specific purpose. The act of starting something for the first time, introducing something new. A hospital for mentally incompetent or unbalanced person. A custom that for a long time has been an important feature of some group or society. The institution of marriage. An establishment consisting of a building or complex of buildings where an organization for the promotion of some cause is situated. The act of starting something for the first time, introducing something new. An event that is a beginning, a first part or stage of subsequent events. The act of putting one thing into another. A message, spoken or written, that is introduced or inserted. With many insertions in the margins. The act of putting one thing into another. A speech act that conveys information. A speech act that conveys information. To furnish incriminating evidence to an officer of the law, usually in return for favors. Serving to begin. The beginning canto of the poem. The time at which something is supposed to begin. The place where something begins, where it springs into being. The Italian beginning of the Renaissance. The act of starting something. He was responsible for the beginning of negotiations. The event consisting of the start of something. The beginning of the war. The first part or section of something. It was a dark and stormy night, is a hackneyed beginning for a story. The time at which something is supposed to begin. An academic exercise in which diplomas are conferred. The act of starting something. Get off the ground. Who started this company? Bulge outward. The time at which something is supposed to begin. They got an early start. Begin work or acting in a certain capacity, office or job. Start a new job. Get going or set in motion. We simply could not start the engine. A line indicating the location of the start of a race or a game. Have a beginning, in a temporal, spatial, or evaluative sense. Prices for these homes start at $250,000. A signal to begin, as in a race. The starting signal was a green light. Bring into being. A turn to be a starter, in a game at the beginning. He got his start because one of the regular pitchers was in the hospital. Set in motion, cause to start. The U.S. started a war in the Middle East. Take the first step or steps in carrying out an action. Who will start? Begin an event that is implied and limited by the nature or inherent function of the direct object. She started the soup while it was still hot. A sudden involuntary movement. He awoke with a start. Begin or set in motion. I start at 8 in the morning. Have a beginning characterized in some specified way. Leave. Move or jump suddenly, as if in surprise or alarm. She startled when I walked into the room. The advantage gained by beginning early, as in a race. With an hour's start he will be hard to catch. The act of starting something. Play in the starting lineup. The beginning of anything. It was off to a good start. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. A euphemism for defecation. He had a bowel movement. A group of people with a common ideology who try together to achieve certain general goals. He was a charter member of the movement. An optical illusion of motion produced by viewing a rapid succession of still pictures of a moving object. The succession of flashing lights gave an illusion of movement. A natural event that involves a change in the position or location of something. A general tendency to change, as of opinion. A broad movement of the electorate to the right. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. A series of actions advancing a principle or tending toward a particular end. The movement to end slavery. A major self-contained part of a symphony or sonata. The second movement is slow and melodic. The act of changing the location of something. The movement of cargo onto the vessel. The driving and regulating parts of a mechanism, as of a watch or clock. It was an expensive watch with a diamond movement. A book prepared for use in schools or colleges. A book prepared for use in schools or colleges. His economics textbook is in its 10th edition. The words of something written. There were more than 1,000 words of text. A passage from the Bible that is used as the subject of a sermon. The preacher chose a text from Psalms to introduce his sermon. The main body of a written work, as distinct from illustrations or footnotes, etc. Pictures made the text easier to understand. According to or characteristic of a casebook or textbook, typical. A textbook example. A book prepared for use in schools or colleges. His economics textbook is in its 10th edition. A book prepared for use in schools or colleges. A book prepared for use in schools or colleges. An offer of marriage. The act of making a proposal. They listened to her proposal. Something proposed, such as a plan or assumption. A self-contained part of a larger composition, written or musical. A section of a section. A part of a part, i.e., a part of something already divided. A division of some larger or more complex organization. An area composed of subdivided lots. The act of subdividing. Division of something previously divided.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.